Congratulations on your recent academic achievements and welcome to the Queen's alumni community. As a graduate of the class of 2021, you have shown enormous resilience and commitment in the completion of your studies during what has been a turbulent 18 months of unprecedented challenges since the beginning of the pandemic. You are a credit to yourselves and your supporters. The skills and knowledge that you gained during your degrees are testament to your hard work and the support you have received from school and faculty staff, and of course your friends and your champions. I hope that you will be inspired by your experience as a student at Queen's and in time create your own impact on the world. I have no doubt that each one of you has the potential to achieve greatness no matter where life takes you. You now join a distinguished network of over 200,000 past students of the university who have enhanced and continue to enhance both life in Northern Ireland and much further afield. The impact of graduates can be seen through their contributions to the worlds of business, healthcare, sport, engineering, social justice, and many more. Wherever you travel, Queen's will continue to be part of your journey, sharing in your successes, supporting you through more challenging times, and providing networks and opportunities to your advantage. As a graduate, we'll keep you up to date with how you can transform your relationship with Queen's from student for a time to a graduate forever. We'll even tell you how you can take advantage of ongoing support from the university's Careers, Employability and Skills team. But we can't share the benefits of your new alumni status with you if we don't know where to find you. If you do nothing else, make sure we can at least keep in touch with you by following the instructions on screen. Finally, congratulations and good luck on behalf of everyone from the Development and Alumni Relations Office. I hope to meet you in person and to hear your story at a Queen's event in the near future, and also a long time from now, and that you'll still be telling your Queen's story long after I've retired.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'd be grateful if you take a few moments to listen to the following short safety announcement. On hearing the fire alarm, we would ask everyone to evacuate the building immediately. Please leave in a calm and orderly manner using the exits which are located at the front and the rear of the hall. Then make your way to the assembly point at the front of the physics building located at the car park side of the hall opposite the main building. We would ask you to remain there until instructed otherwise. Please do not attempt to re-enter the building, even if the alarms have been silenced, as this does not always mean the emergency is over. Thank you for wearing a face mask this afternoon. It is important to remind everyone that masks should be worn whilst in the hall unless you are crossing the stage. I would also like to take this opportunity to ask you to silence all mobile phones now for the duration of the ceremony. Thank you for your cooperation, and we trust you enjoy your visit to Queen's University. A short university video will now be played.
I've always had an interest in going on to have a career in research, so I knew that when I was picking the university for my postgraduate studies, I needed to pick a university that is known on the international stage.
Skills anywhere I find myself. What matters is to apply the skills to make wherever I find myself a better place.
It seems to be a great way to separate yourself from the rest of the pack. Shows the employer that you're engaged and you're really interested in this area.
Since becoming a postgraduate student and I have access to the graduate skill, it's a gorgeous building. It's really easy to work your life around it, like it doesn't take over your life, it improves it.
Please rise to receive the academic procession.
Good afternoon and a warm welcome on this special occasion to graduates, parents, families and friends. I declare open this congregation for the conferment of degrees and presentation of diplomas and certificates. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, graduates, guests and friends, it's a huge privilege to be able to say a few words to you this afternoon. And I want to welcome everyone today graduating from the School of Chemistry and Chemical Engineering, which from now on I'll refer to as CCE, so keep this speech less than about an hour long. The School of Electronics, Electrical Engineering and Computer Science, that will be EEECS. And the School of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering, and I'll call that Mechanaero. Today is an opportunity to celebrate a huge milestone in your lives, and I want to offer my personal congratulations. You've been through things that previous generations of graduates at Queen's have never been through, and I think everyone here, families, friends and staff, understand the amount of resilience and patience that you've had to show. We have a small opportunity now to be together and celebrate graduation, but I suspect that the regulations and restrictions may return in very short order. I feel slightly as though some of this is my fault because I arrived in Queen's almost at the same time as COVID. But the medical faculty assure me that case 0 must have arrived slightly before me. But if it was me, I apologise. I want to pay tribute not only to yourselves, but also to the staff who've had to support you on this journey. I know at sometimes it's been frustrating trying to work out whether different modes of learning are being used, whether it's online or offline or online or offline. Part of that has been a care to keep you safe, to keep the staff safe, and also to keep the local community safe in and around this area of Belfast. But I really want to ask for your forgiveness and your understanding for the difficult times that we've been through. I'd also like to say thank you to those of you that acted as volunteers in many different capacities throughout these difficult times, both for the NHS and more generally within society. I think both staff and students have made a huge contribution to the Northern Irish response to this difficult pandemic. I'd also like in this section of the talk just to say thank you to all of the people, to the families and friends who have supported you. And I think it's really appropriate at this point just to give a round of applause both to yourselves for your own hard work and success in reaching this stage, but also to all of you here who've contributed to getting the graduates here. So thank you. As I said before, I want to recognise also the effort of staff here. So in particular, I'd like to call out Aidan McGowan, one of the senior lecturers in EEECS, who's received a very prestigious National Teaching Fellowship, which is awarded to those who make an outstanding impact on student outcomes and teaching in higher education. And coincidentally, he'll also be a graduate this afternoon receiving a PhD. So congratulations, Aidan, wherever you are. Very good. So you might have gathered that part of this address is written for me, right? That was the written for me part. Now I get to say whatever I like. And because the hard part of your degree is over, I get to mess with your brains a little bit, all right? So the thing I want to talk to you about in this address is the pace of change in your disciplines. And if I start with Mech and Aero, one of the things that really intrigued me, one of the people that really intrigued me when I moved here to Belfast was a lady called Lillian Bland, who is often thought of as the first female aviator in Ireland, the whole of Ireland. And she took to the skies only a little over 100 years ago. That's unbelievable. So there's a period of my life where our lives overlapped. The first lady ever to fly within Ireland and my own life coincided for about 15 years. I'm not really sure if it's possible to look to the future and try and predict where we might be in a similar time into the future, what your lives will overlap with. It could be Elon Musk on Mars. I think that's a bit of a frightening thought. Who knows? The reason I like Lillian Bland as well is there's a couple of things that she did from an engineering perspective that just make me smile, okay? And this is relevant for CCE, for the chemists amongst us, right? So what Lillian had to do technically from an engineering point of view was put an engine into a glider. And lots of problems because the engines were made in England and they weren't well designed for the frame of the plane that she developed. So when she got the engine on, there was no room for the fuel tank, right? And the thing that makes me laugh is, I don't know if you can guess what she used, but she used a whiskey bottle, right? To me, that shows a huge amount of ingenuity and engineering. I have no idea what the chemical mixture that went through into that engine was, but it probably contributed to her success. For those of you who are in EEECS, the thing I want to mess your brains with in terms of the pace of change is what the first mobile phones in Northern Ireland were like, right? And the same for me in Scotland. The first mobile phones, so obviously a mobile phone relies on a base station, right? So for the phones that you use today, normally they're about 20 kilometers in distance between a base station and your phone. And the phone communicates with that to get onto the wired network. But in the early days of phones, they didn't have them, right? And the first mobile phone I ever owned, the only place that you could contact to a base station was the supermarket Iceland, right? and it was called Rabbit. And so whenever you got a little thing, a little light would flash to say you'd got a call, but you couldn't take a voicemail or anything like that. You had to go to the local freezer shop. And by the way, just because I know this is filmed, other freezer shops are available, right? In case you think Queen's is endorsing a particular supermarket. But what it used to go like today, when your phone rings, quite often you hear people say, "Yeah, I can't talk to you, Mum, I'm on the train," or "I can't talk to you now, I'm just about to go into graduation." First generation mobile phones weren't like that because everybody knew that you were looking at frozen peas at that point, right? Because it was the only place that your phone worked. So why am I telling you things? This isn't a graduation ceremony in history. This is a graduation ceremony for engineers, right? But just extrapolate. If in my lifetime, even in my relatively recent experience, I can remember mobile phones that would only work in a supermarket. And look at us now with all the technology that we have into the future. And I guess the real point of telling you this really briefly is the things that you've done thus far in your life are foundations. And whether you've learned particular processes or programming languages or particular engineering techniques, this is just the start of a very long journey. And the tools that you will need by the end of your life, they'll be based on the things that you know today, but they're likely to be very, very different. And I think that the most important thing that you'll have learned in Queen's is the flexibility to apply your ideas and also the ability to do things that are hard. Okay, that's what I believe. So anyway, that's enough of the serious stuff. I thought I would tell you a little bit about my graduation because some of you might be nervous about coming to the front. And my graduation is famous for being the worst possible graduation from hell that you could ever imagine, all right? So yesterday in graduation, I talked about having the worst graduation haircut of anybody out of the 300 people that graduated with me, to the point where some of my friends were like pointing to their parents that how bad my haircut was. Luckily, none of you seem to have suffered from that. Okay, the second thing that went wrong at my graduation was that my parents are both from Scotland, and I was born in Scotland, and my mum insisted that I wear the Highland dress, right? And I thought, okay, I'll do it. But I'd never worn it before, and I hired the Highland dress. But what I didn't do is check that I'd got all the ingredients, all the components, right? And so with 45 minutes to go, I realized that they'd forgotten to give me these little button things that hold the shirt together, right? So what would you do? Like in 45 minutes, I've got to come here and graduate, and my shirt looks like I'm a 1960s disco singer. So what I did was what every engineer would do. I went and got paper clips and tried to fashion the buttons with paper clips, right? Now, it looked really, really terrible, right? And it also is available for viewing on photographs that are posted on Instagram and Facebook, but please don't look, all right? And I thought this was a unique story. I've told this story at 2 other graduations in Singapore and China, right? And in every one of those graduations, there's been somebody mailed me afterwards, said, "Chris, do you know I had paper clips as well?" So as you come up to graduate, I will be looking. Maybe even look at the person next to you to see if they've got, odd bits of stationery holding their clothes together. Okay. So the very last thing I want to say is the most annoying thing that anybody ever said to me at graduation. One of my friends turned to me and he said, looked at me in the eye, said, "Chris, the hard work starts now." I think that's the most unhelpful thing that anybody has ever said at a graduation, and I profoundly hope that nobody ever says that to you for the rest of today, okay? So once again, I just want to wish you continued success in the rest of your careers. I want to wish you a very happy afternoon and evening here, and also to thank you for being part of Queen's. Thank you. Will all graduates please rise? In the name and by the authority of the university, I confer on you and those whose names appear on the graduation lists the degrees, diplomas and certificates to which you are entitled, and which, for you who are present, will be individually presented by your head of school. Please be seated. Thank you.
Pro-Vice-Chancellor, I present to you candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the School of Chemistry and Chemical Engineering. Collins Innocent Accor. Rachel Maria Marcia Andrews. Emily Letitia Byrne. Rory Joseph O'Donnell. And for the degree of Master in Science in Chemistry with a year in Industry, Malachi Philip McIver. And in Chemistry, Nicole Ann McKee. And for the degree of Master of Engineering in Chemical Engineering, Ewan Joseph Mullen. And for the degree of Bachelor of Engineering in Chemical Engineering, Thomas James Gibbs. Jack Kevin McDevitt. Thomas Brian Monaghan. And for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Chemistry, Adam O'Neill. Aaron John Murphy. Aisling Mary Beer. Oliver Guy Long. And in medicinal chemistry, Rory Michael Bannon.
Pro-Vice-Chancellor, I present to you candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the School of Electronics, Electrical Engineering and Computer Science. Sarah Elizabeth Glendinning. Mark Godfrey Lennox. Aidan Damien McGowan. Jacob Kieran Stedman. Shane Trimble. Federico Zocco. And for the degree of Master of Science in Applied Cybersecurity with Professional Internship, Harika Vengadets Varlu. And for the degree of Master of Science in Applied Cybersecurity, Kieran Mark Dernan. Christopher Robert McNeil. Thomas O'Kieran. Eamon Patrick O'Connell. Ruth Ellen O'Connor. Michael James Anderson. Natalie Anne-Marie Sullivan. And for the degree of Master of Science in Electronics with Professional Internship, Mohammed Walker Kam. Karthik Kumar. And for the degree of Master of Science in Software Development, Nicholas Robert Anderson. Matthew James Armstrong. John Oliver Barr, Conor Bradley, Cormac Brown, Amy Lee Conan, Emma Dean, Andrew William Davini, Chloe Donan, Laura Caffey, Hannah Marie Gallagher, David James Garrick, Andrew James Gordon, Victoria Gray, Matthew Robert Gregg, Leah Krogan, Felix Hagan, Simon Richard Hart, Jessica Louise Henry, Peter Terence Edward Hudson, Bethan Hughes, Kieran Michael Lamb, Tony Joseph Lindsay, Stephen Mann, Daniel McCauley, Mary-Therese McCormick, Naomi Lauren McCready, Aaron McCullough, Charles Alexander Curry McDowell, Megan Rose McNamee, Paul Patrick Mellon, Chris Robert James Milford, Liam Mulligan, Kevin O'Kane, Philip Patrick O'Keefe, Christopher O'Neill, Sasha Mary O'Neill, Andrew Pickard, Sean Henry Pollard, Curtis Mark Radcliffe, Suzanne Rice, Carla Rose Maria Rush, Thomas Scott, Lee David Service, Rebecca Andrea Sexton, Owen Teague, William Gareth Trimble, Jenny Carol Walsh, Leo Thomas Ward Hunter, Christopher David Brazier, Laura Joanne Callan, Thomas Paul Collins McCall, Niall Andrew Corey, Jordan Davis, Piers Doherty, Conor John Eakin, Jonathan William Farrell, Nicholas Charles Gaywood, Mark Graham, Julie Hagan, Amy Ciara Hamill, Harry Ellis Ford Hawkins, David Alexander Houston, Amit Jaya Prakosh, Justwant Ka Sivi Ramash, Anne-Marie Kerr, Michael Eugene Kelt, Dara Antoine Kieran, Cassandra Marie Lamond, Stephen Brian Livingstone, Rachel Amy Lynch, Conor McAleese, Laura Jane McCarry, David McCullough, Charlie McDowell, Chloe McGeary, Catherine McGuinness, Roisin Mary McHugh, Colin McKenna, Shane McKenna, Caitlin Mary McPaulin, Natasha Louise McKillen, Darren Allen Morton, Dennis Liam O'Kane, Adam Lewis Pollard, Paul Rankin, Ara Vineeth Ravi Chadran, Bradley Robinson, Hannah Robinson, Reese Jordan Salmon, Desmond John Shearer, Andrew William Thomas, Stuart Traynor, Colin Francis Wilson, Patrick Joseph Wilson, Victoria Veronica Weilikal, Kaylin Augustine Austin, Connor Burns, Francis Crickard, Joseph Cunningham, Mark Davidson, Shannon Duffy, William DuPont, Simona Jasperkova, Brian Keenan, Tasman Sarah Kerr, Charles Richard William Knox, Sarah McLernan, Brian Anthony Penrose, Ryan James Richards, and for the degree of Master of Engineering in Computer Science, Ciara Marie McGee, and for the degree of Master of Engineering in Software Engineering with Placement, Daniel Keenan, and for the degree of Bachelor of Engineering in Computer Science, including professional experience, Dean Aman Dunwoody, Peter Alexander Morrison, Niamh Paula Cassidy, Christopher Alexander Morrow, Edgars Polovkis, Migli Bui Dite, and for the degree of Bachelor of Engineering in Computer Science, Joafan Wee, Jason Martin Reid, and for the degree of Bachelor of Engineering in Electrical and Electronic Engineering, Matthew Barry Ethan Aaron Taff, Martin David Wilson, and for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Business Information Technology, including professional experience, Sean David O'Connor, and for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Business Information Technology, Eloise Crane, and for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Computer Science and including professional experience, Audryn Paul McGronigan, Catherine Ann Freeman, Alexander Michael John Irwin, Lorna Jane Sangster, and for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, James Edward Patton, and for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Computing and Information Technology, Conan Gary Pio Carroll, and for the degree of Bachelor of Science, Ordinary Degree, Oisin Owen Donnelly,
Pro-Vice-Chancellor, I present to you candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy from the School of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering, Lucy Mary Geddes. Adriana Sierra Romero. and for the degree of Master of Science in Mechanical Engineering with Management and Industrial Internship, Akhil Karavula. And for the degree of Master of Science in Mechanical Engineering with Management, Sankit Pramod Campbell. And for the degree of Master of Engineering in Aerospace Engineering, Lauren Ann Floyd. Jeffrey William Corcoran. And for the degree of Mechanical Engineering, Master of M.Eng in Mechanical Engineering, John Michael Hoy. Porrick James McGarry. And for the degree of Bachelor Engineering in Aerospace Engineering, Samuel Alexander Mackenzie Milford. And for the degree of Bachelor of Engineering in Mechanical Engineering, Tony Margaret Rose Parkhill. Anandu Raghu. Carrie Roberta Spears. Omar Ashraf Hassan Al-Gawami. Yan Wei Kwek. And for the degree of Foundation Degree in Mechanical Engineering, Benjamin Peter Lewis. And Omar Mulud.
I just have a few small things to say. I promise it will be quick. The first is to offer a personal apology to you all. Obviously, you've seen everyone up here has had masks on, and we haven't been able to shake your hands. And the reason for that isn't just because of the health guidelines and COVID. It's because next week we have another at least 10 graduation ceremonies, and we can't take any risks that people from outside the university might try and close that down, because we have people coming from all around the world as well as all over Northern Ireland for their ceremonies. So I hope you'll forgive us that we just didn't want to take any chances that would risk it for others, that maybe prevent them from having the opportunity that we've had today. So that's the reason. And secondly, to say, when all of this is over, come onto campus and I will shake your hand, all right? So mentioning that there's 10 more to go, I just also want to say thank you. We've said congratulations to you, and we've said thank you to your friends and family that are here. I'd just like to get everyone to have a round of applause for all the people that have organised today and made this possible. And some of them are outside checking COVID issues and stuff like that. So if we could make it really loud, that would be great, okay? It may not look it, right, but I promise you the people up here are as nervous, if not more nervous than you, right? Because we don't want to mess it up for you. So I think you did a great job. Thank you, everyone. Okay, it's Friday evening. You don't really want to be here now, right? So I declare closed this congregation for the conferment of degrees and the presentation of diplomas and certificates. And I invite our new graduates and our recipients to join the academic procession as it leaves the hall. Please, will parents and family wait until the procession has left. And thank you again and congratulations. Thank you.
Queen's Alumni Office was established to ensure that the relationship between graduates and alma mater becomes lifelong. Many people will have forged lasting personal and professional friendships while at Queen's, and the ongoing alumni outreach programme aims to keep Queen's men and Queen's women in touch with the university and, of course, with each other. In time, alumni will make return visits to Queen's for reunions, public lectures, social and academic events, and perhaps further study. It's particularly important to stay in contact if careers are pursued overseas, and for this reason, Queen's now has a number of graduate organisations based both here in Northern Ireland and throughout the world in Canada, America, the Far East, Africa and Northern Europe. So, graduation should not mark the end of your association with Queen's. Through the Alumni Office, those friends, contacts and memories can last a lifetime.